Hello, and welcome to Universe Drift. My name is Adam, and thank you for listening tonight. I'll be your guide as we drift beyond the Earth and step gently into the quiet, velvety stillness of the cosmos. Above us, the stars shimmer with ancient light, and the vastness of our galaxy opens like a peaceful, endless horizon. Before our journey begins, take a moment to settle in. Allow your body to sink deeper into your mattress. Feel the warmth of your blankets surrounding you. Soften your shoulders. Let your jaw unclench. And take a slow, calming breath in and a long, gentle breath out. With each breath, imagine the weight of the day melting away. Your mind grows quiet. Your body grows heavy, and you prepare to drift into a state of calm and restful comfort. Whenever you're ready, let us begin our voyage amongst the stars. Look up. That light has traveled not just centuries, but perhaps millions of years, crossing the dark gulf between stars, just to find your eyes tonight. In October 2019, a silent traveler appeared in our telescopes. It came from somewhere beyond our sun's embrace, beyond everything humanity has ever called home. It passed through our small corner of space and continued on, indifferent to our wonder, our questions, our reaching instruments. We called it 2I Borisov, the second confirmed visitor from another star system. Our ancestors didn't see chaos when they looked up. They saw stories, destiny, time itself written in light. But what happens when something appears that belongs to no story we've ever told? What if the greatest science of the stars wasn't about physics, but about meaning? About what it means to be a witness to something that will never return. Today, we journey back through time, not just human time, but cosmic time. We'll listen to the oldest stories told by light and discover what these silent, star-crossing wanderers reveal about patience, perspective, and the profound peace of accepting our place in an impossibly vast universe. Settle in. Close your eyes if you wish. We begin. Thousands of years ago, when the only light was the fire beside you and the great dome of stars above, ancient observers noticed something strange. Most stars held their positions, night after night, season after season, forming the reliable patterns we call constellations. But a few lights moved. The Greeks called them planetes, wanderers. These were not the fixed, eternal stars, but something else, something closer. The planets of our solar system, though they didn't know that yet. To the ancient mind, these wanderers were messengers, gods, omens. They moved with purpose through the zodiac, and their movements could be tracked, predicted, woven into calendars and prophecies. The Babylonians, nearly 4,000 years ago, were the first to keep detailed records. On clay tablets, they inscribed the positions of Venus, Jupiter, Mars. They noticed the cycles. Venus would appear as the morning star, vanish, then return as the evening star. Jupiter took 12 years to complete its journey through the constellations. These patterns became part of the cosmic order, a celestial clockwork that governed harvests, festivals, the crowning of kings. But imagine their perspective. They lived in a world where travel was difficult, where the next village might be a day's walk, where the horizon defined the limits of the knowable world. And yet, above them, these lights traveled impossible distances with serene regularity. The wanderers were proof that movement itself could be orderly, that even in motion there could be a deep, abiding stability. The night sky offered something precious: certainty. In a world of unpredictable weather, disease, conflict, and loss, the stars remained. The Big Dipper would always point north. Orion would always return in winter. The Pleiades would always rise to signal the time of planting or harvest, depending on where you lived. Think of the night sky as an ancient library, written in light instead of words. Each constellation was a book, each myth a chapter. The story of Orion the hunter, forever chasing the Pleiades across the heavens. The story of Andromeda, chained to her rock, rescued by Perseus. These weren't just entertainment, they were memory devices, ways of encoding agricultural knowledge, navigation instructions, moral lessons. The stars were humanity's first teachers. They taught us to count, to measure time, to find our way across featureless oceans. Polynesian navigators could sail thousands of miles using only the stars, the waves, and the flight patterns of birds. To them, the night sky wasn't mysterious. It was home. It was family. Each star had a name, a personality, a place in their cosmic genealogy. This is the profound comfort of the stars. They were the one thing that wouldn't change. Empires would rise and fall. Languages would evolve and disappear. But the stars, the eternal stars, would remain as witnesses to everything. They offered not a mystery to be solved, but a quiet, rhythmic certainty that anchored human existence. But what happens when something appears that doesn't fit the pattern? In ancient times, this happened occasionally. A new star would appear where none had been before, what we now call a nova or supernova. The Chinese astronomers recorded these guest stars meticulously. In 1054 AD, a guest star appeared in Taurus, bright enough to be seen during the day. It remained visible for months before fading. Today we know it as the Crab Nebula, the remnants of a stellar explosion. These unexpected visitors disrupted the cosmic order. They required explanation. Were they omens, warnings, messages from the gods? The appearance of a guest star could topple dynasties, inspire religious movements, change the course of history. And then there were the comets. Unlike the orderly planets, comets appeared suddenly, blazing across the sky with their great tails streaming behind them. They followed no predictable path. They seemed to emerge from nowhere and vanish into nowhere. The Romans saw comets as omens of disaster. The death of Julius Caesar was marked by a comet. The Norman conquest of England in 1066 was preceded by the appearance of what we now call Halley's Comet, depicted in the Bayeux Tapestry as a fearsome portent. But even comets eventually revealed their patterns. Edmund Halley realized that the comet of 1682 was the same one that had appeared in 1607 and 1531. It would return, he predicted, in 1758. He was right. The comet was named in his honor, and humanity learned that even the most dramatic visitors followed laws, orbits, cycles we could understand. Every wanderer, no matter how strange its appearance, eventually found its place in our expanding cosmic map, until now. The heavens offered not a mystery to be solved, but a quiet, rhythmic certainty. At least, that's what we believed. Every culture that has ever looked up has created stories. This isn't coincidence. It's something fundamental about human consciousness. We are pattern-seeking creatures. We need narrative. We need meaning. In ancient China, the night sky was divided into 28 mansions, or shu. Each mansion was associated with a season, an element, a direction, a mythological creature. The azure dragon of the east watched over spring. The vermilion bird of the south governed summer. The white tiger of the west presided over autumn. The black tortoise of the north ruled winter. The sky wasn't just a map, it was a cosmic government, a celestial bureaucracy reflecting the earthly empire below. The Pleiades, a small cluster of stars in Taurus, appears in the mythology of nearly every culture on Earth. The Greeks saw them as seven sisters, daughters of Atlas, pursued by Orion and transformed into stars by Zeus to protect them. In Japan, they were called Subaru, meaning united. The Maori of New Zealand called them Matariki, and their rising marked the new year. In the Australian Aboriginal tradition, they were the seven sisters being pursued by a man, a story that echoes the Greek myth despite being created on opposite sides of the world. What does this tell us? That humans everywhere, independently, looked up and saw the same need: to connect the heavens with the earth, to make the infinite comprehensible, to weave the stars into the fabric of daily life. Modern astronomy gives us a different kind of knowledge. We know that the Pleiades is an open star cluster about 444 light-years away, containing hundreds of stars formed from the same molecular cloud, We know their composition, their temperature, their eventual fate. We can calculate their trajectories through the galaxy with stunning precision. But does this knowledge replace the stories? Or does it add another layer to them? When an Aboriginal elder tells the story of the Seven Sisters, she's not making a cosmological error. She's transmitting cultural knowledge that has been passed down for perhaps 40,000 years. The story encodes information about the seasons, about law and kinship, about the relationship between sky and land. It's a different kind of truth, one that connects human meaning to cosmic phenomena. The ancient navigators who crossed the Pacific Ocean using star paths weren't ignorant of science. They were masters of a science we've largely forgotten, one that integrated observation, memory, intuition, and lived experience. They didn't need to know that stars are massive fusion reactors. They needed to know that when certain stars rose, certain currents would flow, certain winds would blow. The wisdom of the stars goes deeper than symbols. It speaks to the very rhythm of human life. Here's what modern astronomy tells us. The stars we see are not eternal. They're born from clouds of gas and dust, burn for millions or billions of years, and die in various ways depending on their mass. The light we see from distant stars left those stars years, decades, centuries, or millennia ago. We're looking at the past, always the past, never the present moment. And yet, from the human perspective, the stars are eternal. No human has ever lived long enough to see the constellations change shape. The Big Dipper that guided ancient travelers guides us still. The North Star that steadied Viking longships steadies us still. On human timescales, the stars are forever. This is the beautiful tension at the heart of our relationship with the cosmos. We now know that we live in a dynamic, evolving universe where nothing is permanent, nothing is still. And yet, we experience it as a place of profound stability, a backdrop against which our brief lives play out. But the wisdom of the stars goes deeper than symbols. It speaks to the very rhythm of human life, to the cycles that govern birth, growth, harvest, and rest. For most of human history, survival depended on knowing when to plant and when to harvest. Get it wrong and your community starved. The stakes were absolute. In ancient Egypt, the appearance of Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, just before dawn in midsummer, signaled the annual flooding of the Nile. This event was so important, so predictable, so essential to Egyptian civilization that their calendar was built around it. The rising of Sirius marked the beginning of the year. It meant the floodwaters were coming, bringing rich silt that would fertilize the fields for another season. The Egyptians didn't need to understand the mechanics of planetary orbits or the tilt of Earth's axis. They simply needed to watch, to remember, to pass down the knowledge that when Sirius appeared at dawn, certain things would follow with perfect regularity. In ancient Greece, the poet Hesiod wrote a farming manual in verse called Works and Days. It's filled with astronomical instruction. When the Pleiades, daughters of Atlas, are rising, begin your harvest and plough when they are setting. He's describing a stellar calendar, one that farmers used for centuries before modern agriculture replaced these ancient rhythms. The connection between celestial movements and human action extended beyond agriculture into the realm of the sacred. Religious festivals around the world were timed to astronomical events. The Jewish Passover occurs on the first full moon after the spring equinox. Easter follows a similar calculation in the Christian tradition. Ramadan in Islam is tied to the lunar calendar, moving through the seasons over a 33-year cycle. The ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, which marked the end of harvest and the beginning of winter, occurred when the Pleiades reached their highest point at midnight. These weren't arbitrary choices. They reflect a deep understanding that human spiritual life is embedded in natural cycles, and those cycles are reflected in the movements of the heavens. The full moon, the solstice, the equinox, these are moments when earth and sky align, when the veil between ordinary time and sacred time grows thin. Stonehenge, built over 4,000 years ago, is aligned to the summer solstice sunrise and the winter solstice sunset. On those 2 days of the year, the sun rises and sets in perfect alignment with the massive stones. Thousands of similar structures exist around the world. Stone circles, temple alignments, pyramid orientations, all testament to humanity's ancient need to anchor our constructions to cosmic permanence. The predictability of the sky gave birth to mathematics itself. The Babylonians developed sophisticated arithmetic to calculate planetary positions. The Greeks developed geometry partly to understand celestial spheres. The Islamic Golden Age gave us algebra, developed in part to solve astronomical problems and calculate prayer times with precision. Every 60 seconds, every 60 minutes, every 360 degrees of a circle. These are remnants of Babylonian base 60 mathematics, developed for astronomical calculation 5,000 years ago, and still embedded in how we measure time and space. The sky taught us to think abstractly, to recognize patterns, to make predictions. It rewarded patient observation with reliable knowledge. Watch the moon carefully for a month, and you'll understand its phases. Watch it for 19 years, and you'll discover the metonic cycle, the fact that lunar phases repeat almost exactly every 19 years. The ancient Greeks knew this. They used it to reconcile their lunar calendar with the solar year. We were never separate from the stars. They were the dependable, ancient clock that timed our every breath, our every harvest, our every prayer. They were the silent teachers who showed us that the universe follows laws, and those laws can be known. The night sky offered something precious: certainty. In a world of unpredictable weather, disease, conflict, and loss, the stars remained. The Big Dipper would always point north. Orion would always return in winter. The Pleiades would always rise to signal the time of planting or harvest, depending on where you lived. Think of the night sky as an ancient library, written in light instead of words. Each constellation was a book, each myth a chapter. The story of Orion the hunter, forever chasing the Pleiades across the heavens. The story of Andromeda, chained to her rock, rescued by Perseus. These weren't just entertainment, they were memory devices, ways of encoding agricultural knowledge, navigation instructions, moral lessons. The stars were humanity's first teachers. They taught us to count, to measure time, to find our way across featureless oceans. Polynesian navigators could sail thousands of miles using only the stars, the waves, and the flight patterns of birds. To them, the night sky wasn't mysterious. It was home. It was family. Each star had a name, a personality, a place in their cosmic genealogy. This is the profound comfort of the stars. They were the one thing that wouldn't change. Empires would rise and fall. Languages would evolve and disappear. But the stars, the eternal stars, would remain as witnesses to everything. They offered not a mystery to be solved, but a quiet, rhythmic certainty that anchored human existence. What does it mean to wander? Not to orbit, not to belong, but to pass through. The Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome had a concept called cosmopolitanism, being a citizen of the cosmos rather than just a city or nation. They believed that a wise person recognizes that they belong to the universe as a whole, not just to their local community. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "My city and country, so far as I am a Roman, is Rome. So far as I am a human being, it is the world." Interstellar objects like Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov are cosmic wanderers in the most literal sense. They belong to no star system. They're citizens of the galaxy itself, spending millions of years in the space between stars, occasionally passing through a system like ours, briefly illuminated by a sun not their own, before returning to the endless dark. This gentle act of looking up, of observing these cosmic vagrants, forces us to reconsider the simple grandeur of our place in the cosmos. We're not just residents of Earth or the solar system. We're part of a galactic ecosystem where matter, energy, and perhaps even life itself moves between star systems over vast timescales. Scientists estimate that at any given moment, there might be thousands of interstellar objects passing through our solar system, too small or faint for us to detect. We're not isolated. We're part of an ongoing exchange, a cosmic conversation that happens at the speed of orbits, not words. And perhaps this is what historians and cultural observers believe about this universal human need to look up, We're seeking to understand not just where we came from, but what we're part of. The stories change, but the stars do not. Or rather, they change so slowly that they might as well be eternal, at least on human timescales. There's a kind of theft happening slowly across the world. The stars are disappearing. Not actually disappearing, of course, but becoming invisible. Light pollution from cities, towns, even rural areas is brightening the night sky to the point where billions of people have never seen the Milky Way. That great river of stars that inspired myths in every culture that could see it. A study published in 2016 found that 1/3 of humanity cannot see the Milky Way from where they live. In the United States and Europe, it's more than half. For children growing up in cities, the night sky is a handful of bright points against an orange glow. Nothing like the vast, overwhelming spectacle that shaped human consciousness for millennia. What are we losing when we lose the stars? It's not just astronomical knowledge. We have telescopes, photographs, digital planetariums. We can study the universe in more detail than ever before. But we're losing something else. The direct, personal, overwhelming experience of cosmic immensity. When was the last time you stood outside and let your eyes adjust to the darkness? Let the stars emerge slowly as your pupils widened and your vision shifted. Watched until the faint stars appeared, then the fainter ones, then the Milky Way itself. That experience changes you. It puts things in perspective in a way that no documentary, no photograph, no simulation can quite capture. You feel small, yes, but not insignificant. You feel connected to something vast and ancient. You understand, viscerally, why our ancestors saw the stars as family, as guides, as gods. Researchers studying the psychological effects of experiencing the night sky have found that it triggers what they call awe, a specific emotion characterized by the sense of being in the presence of something vast and difficult to comprehend. Awe has measurable effects. It makes people more generous, more patient, less focused on their own concerns, more willing to see themselves as part of something larger. The stars naturally induce awe. They've been doing it for as long as humans have existed, and we're in the process of shutting that experience off, perhaps permanently, for most of humanity. Oumuamua took millions of years to reach us, perhaps tens of millions. It wandered through interstellar space, moving at 12 miles per second relative to the sun, through the unimaginable emptiness between stars. No planets to light its way, no sun to warm it, just the faint whisper of starlight and cosmic radiation, and the slow, patient journey across parsecs. When it finally entered our solar system, it stayed for only a few months. We saw it for mere weeks, and then it was gone, continuing its journey now angled slightly differently due to the sun's gravity, heading toward a future encounter with another star system, perhaps millions of years from now. Think about that. Millions of years of silent travel, weeks of visibility, then millions more years of silence. The stars teach us patience. They teach us that significance isn't measured in speed or intensity, but in endurance. That the universe operates on timescales that make human concerns seem almost absurdly brief. And yet, we matter. We're the ones who noticed. We're the ones who wondered. We're the ones who gave Oumuamua its name, who tracked two Borisov across the sky, who tried to understand. We still don't fully understand where Oumuamua came from. We've narrowed it down, probably a young star system, maybe one in the constellation Lyra or Carina, but we'll never know for certain. We don't know if it was ejected during planet formation, or if it escaped an evolved system, or if it's the remnant of some process we haven't even imagined. And that's okay. Not every mystery needs to be solved. Sometimes the appropriate response to the universe isn't curiosity that demands answers, but curiosity that delights in questions. The ancient Greeks had a concept called aporia, a state of puzzlement, of being at a loss, not as a problem to overcome, but as a philosophical stance. To stand in aporia is to acknowledge that some things exceed our grasp, and that this itself is valuable. It keeps us humble. It keeps us seeking. The interstellar visitors give us this gift. They remind us that the universe is larger, stranger, more full of possibility than we can fully comprehend. They pass through our small corner of space and continue on, carrying mysteries we may never solve to destinations we'll never see. We still don't fully understand where Oumuamua came from. We've narrowed it down, probably a young star system, maybe one in the constellation Lyra or Carina, but we'll never know for certain. We don't know if it was ejected during planet formation, or if it escaped an evolved system, or if it's the remnant of some process we haven't even imagined. And that's okay. Not every mystery needs to be solved. Sometimes the appropriate response to the universe isn't curiosity that demands answers, but curiosity that delights in questions. The ancient Greeks had a concept called aporia, a state of puzzlement, of being at a loss, not as a problem to overcome, but as a philosophical stance. To stand in aporia is to acknowledge that some things exceed our grasp, and that this itself is valuable. It keeps us humble. It keeps us seeking. The interstellar visitors give us this gift. They remind us that the universe is larger, stranger, more full of possibility than we can fully comprehend. They pass through our small corner of space and continue on, carrying mysteries we may never solve to destinations we'll never see. Imagine this, the star stability entering your breath rising and falling, like the rise and fall of constellations across the seasons. The slow, patient rhythm of the cosmos, matching the slow, patient rhythm of your heart. You you are breathing the same atoms that were once part of ancient stars. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, all forged in stellar cores, released in supernova explosions, drifting through space for billions of years, until they became part of the molecular cloud that formed our sun, our Earth, your body. You are made of star stuff, as Carl Sagan said. But more than that, you are a way for the universe to know itself. When you look up at the stars, the universe is looking at itself. When you wonder about interstellar visitors, the universe is wondering about its own wanderers. This is the most profound peace, realizing that you're not separate from what you observe. You're part of it. Your consciousness is the universe becoming conscious of itself. Your questions are the universe questioning itself. The most profound peace emerges when we realize that the stories above us have witnessed everything we face, and they remain. The stars were there before you. They'll be there after you. And in the vast middle, you have this moment to look up, to wonder, to connect, to witness the cosmic wanderers passing through, just as we are all passing through, on journeys we don't fully understand, toward destinations we can only imagine. We've travelled together through deep time tonight, from ancient observers marking the movements of planets on clay tablets, to modern telescopes detecting interstellar visitors from beyond our solar system. From the Babylonians who saw the sky as divine order, to the astronomers who see it as a laboratory for understanding the universe. The stories have changed, the technology has advanced, but the fundamental act, looking up, wondering, seeking connection, remains the same. Oumuamua and 2I Borisov have given us a gift. They've reminded us that the universe is not static. It's not even just dynamic. It's interconnected. Objects move between star systems. Matter circulates through the galaxy. Perhaps even life itself travels on these cosmic wanderers, seeding new worlds with the ingredients of biology. We are not alone, even if we never find technological civilizations among the stars. We're part of a galactic ecosystem, connected to distant systems we'll never visit, influenced by events that happened millions of years before our species existed. The stars are our anchor. They've guided travelers, marked the seasons, inspired myths, and measured time since before we were human. And they continue, patient and enduring, as we continue our brief, bright journey through the cosmos. The quest for understanding is a beautiful, slow process. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about the quality of attention we bring to the journey, the patience, the wonder, the willingness to stand in aporia, puzzled and awed by by the universe we find ourselves in. The stories of the stars will be there tomorrow. The wanderers will continue their silent journeys. The light from distant suns will continue its patient travel across the galaxy. For now, let the old light guide you to rest. And now, as our journey through the cosmos comes to a soft and peaceful close, your pod begins its gentle descent, gliding through starlight like a feather settling back to earth. Feel your body growing heavier, your breathing deeper, your thoughts slower and softer than before. Let any remaining tension fade away like a distant star disappearing over the horizon. Allow yourself to melt into your pillow and surrender to the quiet stillness around you. Your mind is at ease. Your heart is calm. And you are safe, warm, and ready for deep, restful sleep. Good night, and may your dreams drift peacefully among the stars. Sweet dreams.